Hey everybody, welcome to my channel or welcome back to my channel. My name is TeraMichelle and this is Opinionated Scents, a safe place for us to discuss all things fragrances, whether we like them or not. So in this video today, I want to talk to you guys about fragrances that were not love at first sniff. I literally didn't like them. There was something about them that just didn't vibe with me. Some of them I kept and just grew to love. Others I sold or gifted away, and then months or years later discovered that I may have had something similar in my collection, and through my scent palette changing, might actually like them, repurchased them, and found that I love them. So let's go ahead and discuss. The first fragrance I want to talk to you guys about was an unlikely match. I never really experienced some of the notes in this fragrance, but I loved the original flanker so much that I had to give it a try, and I literally purchased it the day that it came out. This one is Prada Candy Night. So the notes in this fragrance are, in the top, orange, the middle, cacao and caramel, base notes, vanilla and white musk. I've never really experienced cacao like this. And this was such a departure from the original Prada Candy that it was off-putting. What can I say? I had to sit this one down for some months. I literally think it took like 6 months before I even came back to look at it, let alone spray it again. And by that time, I had found Angel Muse and some other fragrances. And I was like, okay, this still isn't my favorite, not at all. I tend to only wear this on summer nights and fall nights for like date night. So 2020 was pretty much a wash. I don't think I wore this at all. If I did, it might have been like 4 or 5 times at the top of the year, which was technically winter. But this is a great winter fragrance. It's a great summer night fragrance. It's a great fall fragrance, but it really is a nighttime fragrance to me, a date night fragrance to me. And I look forward to getting some more use out of it this year. I really do enjoy it now. I really do. It's still, again, not my favorite, but it's good enough to wear. The next one I want to talk about is Jadore from the House of Dior. I did not like this fragrance for approximately 15 minutes. The first time that I sprayed it, I was like, it smells like champagne. It smells like champagne. Like if I went somewhere and somebody spilled their glass of champagne, or better yet, a bottle all over me, and I just sat there all night smelling like that. Then I came back to it in the dry down and I was sold. So I kind of sort of feel like I'm cheating by putting this one on the list. However, 15 minutes is a long time to be smelling something that you don't like. So it counts. Oh yeah, it counts. I love it now though. It is a fantastic champagne scent. And now there are other fragrances that I'm finding I really, really like, and I enjoy that champagne note in it. So this is supposed to be like some epic floral fragrance. You know, okay, that's what they say. I get champagne and happiness. It is a floral. It's like a white floral. It is definitely a floral, but it's the champagne that makes this exquisite. Oh, come on. I'm pretty sure I'm not alone in this. This is one of those holy grail fragrances that so many people love now. But again, I purchased this before I had any experience with oud or synthetic notes, just like I did with Casablanca. I do believe that I ordered this and Casablanca and a few other things all together. And I was just like, what am I getting myself into? I have to slow down on just getting what everybody is talking about from YouTube, because I'm noticing that I'm not vibing with a lot of this stuff. I also sat this down for like half a year before I could even think to come back to it. But what I noticed was that I would miss it. Like I would talk so bad about it and like be like, but I want to smell it again. I would go and smell it out of the Bastille and spray it. Then eventually it was just like, I want to wear it. I actually want to go ahead out on a limb, put this on and see what happens. This was one of the most complimented fragrances of that year. And I just grew to love it. But this is Mancera's Roses Vanille. La Nuit Tresor. Tresor la Nuit. However you want to say it. I hated this for a good year. Then Takara Thompson talked me into trying it again. Everybody was just so in love with this. Everybody was Demi Rollins clubbing fragrance. Like, I was like, what? I still think to this day that the bottle I had was a bad bottle because the way that this smells now isn't even remotely close. Like there's no similarities to what I originally had. So this may not have been a hate at first sniff if I'd have had a good bottle or one that wasn't. It was either turned or it was fake, I honestly think. Because this right here, oh, yes, baby. Now, there's incense in here that is still a little off-putting for me because I don't care for the note of incense. But this is so sweet, like so sweet that I can get through the incense smell. This will never be my favorite in the line, but I am glad to have this in my collection. I really am. I really like it. It's so good and so sweet. These next two that I'm going to talk about very briefly because I've spoken about them so many times in previous videos. The first one is Casablanca from the House of Swiss Arabian. I had never smelled a synthetic note like that before. Much like the Roses Vanille with Mancera, the synthetic note was a lot. It took me some getting used to. I couldn't make it to the caramel and the apple through that synthetic note. It was very off-putting. But again, let it sit down for a little while. Let your palette grow. Spray it every now and then to let yourself get used to it and work your way up to being able to wear it on you and experiencing it fully to see if you really like it or you really don't. The next one is Mon Guerlain Intense. Now this was never a bad smelling fragrance to me. It is just that it was a powder bomb. The first time that I sprayed this fragrance, it felt like I had just sprayed talcum powder, baby powder in the air and was just sitting there smelling it, just inhaling it in my lungs. It scared me, if I'm being honest. It just was that powerful on the powder to me. I'd never experienced such a powdery fragrance. Now that my palette has changed and grown, I can pick up on the spices. I can pick up on the lavender, the vanilla, and it's still a powder bomb. But I love it. I like to bathe in it now. I just needed time to get used to it. The next one is Narciso by Narciso Rodriguez. This is the white cube, of course. And the vetiver in this, honey, I want to briefly read you the notes of this before I explain to you what this fragrance does to me. So, in the top, there's gardenia and white rose. The middle note is musk, and the base notes are cedar, white cedar extract, and vetiver. This is a very woody, vetiver heavy fragrance. Yes, there's musk in it, and I think the musk saves it from being 100% masculine. And it's beautiful. If you can tolerate how strong and potent that vetiver is, you actually eventually get to a dry down that is so feminine, so smooth, so beautiful. I can only wear this in the coldest of coldest winter. It is too much any other time. So at first it was very off-putting. I waited to the dry down. I love the dry down so much that I think my nose just eventually got used to that vetiver. But this is not a safe blind buy. I think this is the most rogue or the harshest of all the cubes, of course. And so, yeah, you got to really, really, really have a thing for woody, musky, vetiver fragrances for this to be something you can tolerate, in my opinion. And it is a love of mine now. I was going to declutter it, but then I was like, I can't do that. It's about to get super, super, super cold here. So I'll just go ahead and rock it. I really do love it, but it took me a minute. Everybody knows Delina is a top 10 of all time to me, but that I didn't like it originally. When I first purchased a sample and I sprayed this is the first time I'd ever had such a dry, tart, sour fragrance. It was off-putting. However, I took it with me to Florida on vacation, fell in love with it, ordered a bottle to have it waiting on me by the time I got back home. And I just haven't turned. Delina is bae. Delina is bae. It's such a beautiful, beautiful floral. A sour tart floral. The rhubarb in this is perfection. It is perfection. I know there are 3 people in the world who don't like it. That's okay. It's not their thing. For the rest of us, this is perfection. And I realized about a month ago that because I love Delina so much, a fragrance I found before I tested Delina might be worth another try. Dolce & Gabbana's 3 L'Imperatrice. I freaking love this thing now. I gave this away to a coworker named Ashley because I literally hated the smell. It smelled like rotten watermelon. It was like, who the hell did this and why? Like, who did you hate that you wanted to unleash this on the world? And now when I smell it, I get it. I just get it. It's sour, it's tart, not to the level that Delina is. And also too, Delina's more refined and more dry, almost like they took the rhubarb and put it in, what do you call this stuff? Liquid nitrogen? That kind of feel, like, or you are going to walk into a room filled with dry ice type of feel. This is juicier, more watery, more faint, but still the rhubarb in this, it just, I don't know, it just comes alive for me now. It's so very interesting. I have not been in the presence of this perfume in like 3-4 years, something like that. And to just all of a sudden wake up one day and go, you know what? I think we might like that now. I'm beginning to wonder if in the, you know, I might be a perfume in the next life or something like that. Very interesting. Very interesting. There have been a couple of fragrances lately that I've just thought about and said, you know what, I need to revisit that. I get a craving for it, even though I didn't like it originally and hadn't been anywhere near it to all of a sudden be craving it. Has that ever happened to you? Have you ever just been thinking about whatever and then that popped into your head? You know what? Remember that thing we used to hate? We should try that again because we probably like it now. I don't know. It's probably just me. What can I say? I am obsessed with fragrances. So guys, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please consider subscribing, clicking the like button and the notification bell so that you never miss any of my uploads. Of course, I want to see you in the comments. Let me know if you own any of these, if you feel the same way or differently, if you're curious about them and you want more information. Let's just discuss it. And until then, bye.